and gentlemen, are you ready for some football? Guess what? The Social Sports Pad podcast is proud to bring you the Hard Count, Season 3. Can you believe it's been 3 seasons of this stuff already? Wow.
That's crazy.
I am, of course, the man they call Cobra, and I'm joined by Ben and special guest Billy from Newt City.
AKA Filthy Frank ripoff number 251.
AKA formerly known as the parking lot, AKA formerly known as formerly known. All right. So, if people don't understand why we're back again, guess what? We are here to discuss football, because preseason has happened. Preseason has happened.
Yeah, there's games going on right now.
Yep. And also let me preface this. If you are panicking over your team's performance or excited about your team's performance, pump the brakes on that, because
alert. Sam Howell is actually starting right now.
Well then, but again, a quick reminder that the 2008 Detroit Lions went 4-0 in the preseason and ended up 0-16. So again, there's your little preface.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I gotta say this. Even though the Bears beat the Buffalo Bills the way they did, 33-6. I mean, I gotta say, with what I saw from the starters that were out there, it looked pretty good. I have to admit that.
Yeah, some of the teams did look good.
Yeah,
I say the Bears have like a couple more years until they get really good.
Yeah, I mean, their defense has always been a cornerstone of their franchise. I mean, that was the main thing that absolutely destroyed Buffalo in the preseason right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, the main thing that lets down the Bears is their quarterback. And let's be honest, their best quarterback in their history has been Jay Cutler. Don't say Sid Luckman. I'm talking about Super Bowl era. Which is in all honesty the only era that right now matters.
Exactly.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because if you wanted to count past championships, then the Bills would technically have one championship.
So would the Titans by technicality.
By technicality is right. So you can't we cannot count that. So but again, I have to also say to Bears fans, the low bar is Rex Grossman and Cade McNown. There's your low bar. So, if Caleb Williams, it actually ends up worse than those two, I will bust out laughing, and I think so will Ben.
I would just simply say delete your franchise.
Pretty much, because, they're led by the McKeskies. And I just heard a lightning storm. Every time you say the McCaskies. Seriously, stop that. All right. So we obviously have expectations. We can make predictions all we want. We can make, but I think we should save our little bit of predictions for later. Because I want to know from you, Ben, and from you, Billy, what did you see in your team's performance in the preseason?
Well, I'm going first. Like I'm barely seeing anything, because WATE just decided, they have no audio. Time to change the channel back to our ABC regular scheduled program, but not much out of the offense. But it's still getting going.
Yeah, I mean, you got it's new coaching. It's pretty much a fresh, stripped out stripped out talent core. I mean, I think your best offensive weapon is DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, still DeAndre Hopkins. Like I'm simply saying like the Titans are not going to be that bad this season. Everybody's like, "Oh, that's debatable." Like New England fans are like, "Oh, we're going to easily beat the Titans." I'm like, "You're going to be total dog shit for this year."
It's. I'm going to say this to Patriots fans: just because you beat up on the Carolina Panthers today, it doesn't mean anything. Considering that the Carolina Panthers are built on string, paper clips, and chewing gum, and not even the good kind, and are being led by an ownership who has the brain of a Make-A-Wish kid. So don't even.
Anyways, moving on.
And Ben, is there anything you would like to add about the commies? I know your nipples got moist hearing that Sam Howell got the start today at the Seattle Seahawks.
Oh yeah, always moist from Seattle Seahawks. I mean, look, I'm going to be optimistic. I'm not a fan of Jaden Daniels. I think he's another RG3. I think that he's another injury-prone quarterback, just like Lamar Jackson's is like I don't like mobile quarterbacks for a reason. They're easily run down. Look at Cam Newton. What happened to him? He got ran down by what, age 31? Yeah, I don't like that.
It was to be fair to that answer. Cam Newton was not just a runner; he was also physical. He would. The best comparison I could give to Cam Newton is he was like Cam Neely. That's the best comparison I could give.
To a bigger version of Michael Vick, but Michael Vick is so much better. There's nobody else like Michael Vick.
I think Cam Neely, would be a better comparison. If you're a hockey fan, you can kind of translate that. Like Cam Neely was a superstar, but he was like powerful, bruising, but a glass cannon.
Another good comparison would be Randall Cunningham.
No, Randall Cunningham had a longer career. And also, and also, in the tail end of his career, you actually saw that. Oh, hey, he can actually he still had it. Whereas Cam Newton, at his twilight, it was like watching The Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. Just retired, man. It was that bad. That's how I felt.
I just felt like he was like a Cam. He was like McNabb. He didn't want to try to that.
Yeah. Well, it's I feel bad for Cam in a way, but it's also like I don't feel bad for Cam because I don't know what else to say. It's Cam Newton. He was he was the prototype, for a lot of the modern quarterbacks nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something to be said about the speed of the game. Like the game has definitely gotten faster. The athletes have definitely gotten better.
The athletes aren't as big, like fat-wise, they're not as big as they used to be.
Yeah, they're more
muscle.
They're more built. Yes, is the phrase is built. It's. I mean, look at the modern defensive lineman. Aaron Donald, probably best. Future Hall of Famer right there. Like he is slick. As far as he's slick, he's sleek. He still has the weight on him, but.
Reminds me of one of those Cadillacs with license.
You broke up on that one.
It reminds me of one of those Cadillacs. The one that they drive in Bad Boys, they steal from gangs.
Yeah. I still could barely hear you on that. What the heck is going on with your mic?
Sorry, it was just
no, Ben, you're cutting. You're cutting out, Ben. I think
I don't have much signal out here.
It's
all
probably
right. He's gonna have some issues.
driving.
Yep. Yeah. No, he's not driving. He's home.
Oh.
He's got something around him. So is there anything you'd like to add, Billy?
Well, going over current scores right now, we're tied 7-7 in both San Francisco Titans as well as Bucks and Bengals.
Nice.
Jaguars lead the KC. He's 7-3. And we're just getting started between Seattle and Chargers.
Yep. So, yeah, that's pretty. Thank you, Billy. Now,
No problem. I mean, the Titans are here just to quell my pain over the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. Well, I think they're racked with injury. If I could be honest with you, I mean, I've been covering. Obviously, I've been covering the baseball podcast of the Dirt and Turf. But you can't blame the Braves. They're just too hurt to continue. And
everybody's blaming the Braves because you can't be good when you're injured. I'm like, okay, so basically, if everybody gets shot in the head,
Billy, easy. Be careful. Just be careful.
Sorry.
No, hey, it's okay. Again,
Sorry.
just no. You don't have to be sorry. Just be better.
Just these idiots from U-Tree are just saying, "Oh, the Braves are shit," like Mets fans and Philly fans.
I ignored the Reddit. I ignored the subreddits when they talked about that stuff because there's a lot of people.
Not the subreddits, Discords.
Talk about Newt City.
No, not New City. Just another server that I'm in.
Gotcha. Because I'm about to say we ain't talking shit on the Braves. We kind of know the situation with the Braves over there.
Yeah.
I think anyone with a proper pulse in their brain knows what's going on with the Braves. That's enough about baseball.
Baseball.
Yep, we're going to talk football. So,
did you guys see that Bristol is going to have a baseball field?
That is going to be the worst shit I have ever seen in my life.
That's going to be worse. That's going to be worse than the Field of Dreams game Part 2 that they had 2 years ago. That's going to be bad. What else can we talk about? This is kind of the same issue that we experienced with the first episode of the Dirt and Turf podcast, but hey, it's the preseason.
It's season 3, episode 0. That's what I'm thinking.
Pretty much, that's what this is. This is episode 0. When second week of preseason comes around, we got a better look. This is again, we're shining out the pieces. I mean, we're getting everything all squared away. I think, this is a pretty quick podcast. I was hoping, could have the tier maker, but I think, Billy, if you don't mind, later on next week, I'd like to work with you, kind of send you stuff that I have, so we can work on the tier maker together. A little bit of spoiler.
All right.
But we'll discuss that.
What I can do is I can always use my MacBook if you guys need me to use my MacBook.
Right, but I'd have to actually come to you, Ben, on that one. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
Because Ben's actually pretty local to me, Billy. So
okay.
That is it for this episode of the Hard Count. But before we go, of course, I'd like to give a special shout out to one of our affiliates, and that is Sleeves. Sleeves is a website that handles a lot of compression gear. That includes sleeves, that includes tights, that also includes sleeveless hoodies, but also they cover football, mouth guards, gloves, visor clips, spats, whatever your young receiver needs to show off some little bit of drip, use our affiliate in the Spotify about us wherever you get your podcasts in our bio. And of course, before we end the podcast, I would like to give a special shout out to our other affiliates: Fanatics, Bulletproof Coffee, Dr. Squatch, Dubby, Cannon, Fubo TV, Central PC, and Smackin' Sunflower Seeds. And of course, I'm Cobra, joined by Ben and Billy. See you on the field. Good night.